Good morning, friend. Now let's talk about John Dryden. John Dryden was born in 1631 and he died in 1700. Means he has very limited age period. Means near about 69 years. And you know that Dryden was an English poet, a playwright, and critic as well. He was one of the best critic of Restoration age or Restoration period, and his important that critical work was an essay on dramatic poesy. This is an essay on dramatic poesy was published in 1668, and after that it was followed by a defense of an essay that was published in 1668. These were two important critical works of John Dryden. And as we have also talked about Dryden in our previous video, when Dryden also wrote heroic dramas, as you know. And after that Dryden wrote a poem, Asterisk Redux, that was published in 1660, and this poem was celebrating the return of Charles II. As you know that Charles II was restored to English throne in 1660. We have talked about him in our previous video. And after that, this critical work of Dryden has also a sonnet sequence of 108 sonnets that is named as Absalom and Astrophel, that was published in 1681. It has 108 sonnets sequence. And let's talk about this Dryden's essay on dramatic poesy. An essay on dramatic poesy, as you know, Dryden in this essay is structured as a dialogue, or you can say debate between four speakers. This essay on dramatic poesy, and in this essay we have four characters. One is Ignis, Critiques, Lycidas, and Nender. They are four characters, and this essay is a dialogue between these four characters, and they are representing, this Ignis is representing William Davenant, whom we have talked about in our previous lecture, that he was the first who wrote the Sea of Rhodes, means heroic play, William Davenant, and this Ignis is representing him. And another is Critiques. Critiques represents Robert Howard. Third is Lycidas. Lycidas represents Robert Bowley, and fourth is Nender. Nender represents Dryden himself. These are the four characters, and this is dialogue between them. Now let's talk about Ignis. You know, Ignis literally means a well-born genius. That is Ignis, E-U-G-E-N-I, E-genius. You can call it Ignis or E-genius. And this is a well-born genius. And if we look at in this essay, the essay on dramatic poesy, we will come to know that Ignis, he favors the moderns over ancients, because he is a well-born genius and he favors moderns. He thinks that he argues that moderns have excelled over the ancients because of having learned and profited from their examples. And this is a view of Eugenius. This is his view in this essay. And if we talk about this critique, Krites comes from Greek word that is critique, one who critiques, one who is able to express a reasoned judgment on something. He is critic, he is critic. He argues in favor of ancients and applauds the observance of three unities in drama. He says there should be three unities: the unity of time, unity of place, and the unity of action, whom Shakespeare violated. Remember this thing, Shakespeare violated all these three unities, and these three unities are given by this Aristotle. And this critique here represents Robert Howard. He is in favor of these three unities. He considered Ben Jonson as the greatest English playwright. because he followed the ancient example by adhering to these three unities. He considers him that he is the best of all playwrights. And a friend, if we talk about Lascivious, Lascivious this name is probably based on the royal emblem of France. The royal emblem of France, the fleur de lis. This is royal emblem of France, fleur de lis. And this name Lascivious, not Lycidas, this is Lascivious. Lascivious is based on that French emblem, and he argues in favor of the modern day French playwrights. He says he is in favor of modern day French playwrights. And friend, he believes that French drama is superior to English drama because of their adherence to the classical unities. He believes that this French drama is very much superior to English drama because of their adherence to classical unities. He says he is in favor of these things. He says because of their focus on one plot and one character. He says that French plays they focus on one plot and one character. That is why he is in favor of French plays, French playwrights. Because of their use of narration. He also says that they use narration. And if we talk last about Nender is favoring, or Nender is representing Dryden himself. He says Nender literally means the new man. He's a new man. He lives in that modern age, and he favors that age. Now let's see what Nender symbolizes here in this essay, an essay on dramatic poesy. He favors the moderns. He favors moderns because I used to say he is a new man, but does not disparage the ancients. He is in favor of moderns, but to somehow he stick to these ancients. He stick back to the ancients as well. He states that English are best. He says English are best, and if we see that Lascivious says that French are best, French are dominant, French are better than English, but here this person, Dryden, or this Nender, he says that English are best. Why? He says the lively imitation of nature means human nature. He's talking about human nature. He says that English are lively imitation of human nature. Conceding that while French poesy is beautiful, he says he is. I asked you that he is disparaging to ancients as well. He's not making them sad. He's disparaging them as well. But he says that French poesy is beautiful. He says that the French is beautiful. Their poesy is beautiful. It is also lifeless like a statue. He says, but here once again he criticizes them. He says that it is also lifeless like a statue. It's lifeless. He critiques the barrenness of the French plots. He says that the French plays don't have that plots. Their plots are totally barren. And praises the variety and conscientiousness of the English plays. He praises the varieties of English plays. He's in favor of English plays. He is favoring moderns, and he is now also not letting behind these ancients as well. And he's in favor of English plays. He says that French plays are beautiful. Their poesy is beautiful, but their plot is lacking. Their plot is barren. Nender also goes on to defend the genre of tragic comedy since it increases the effectiveness. He's also in favor of that. It increases effectiveness. Effectiveness of what? Effectiveness of both tragic as well as comic elements by way of contrast. He's in favoring of tragic comedy as well. And he indicates his preference to Shakespeare over Ben Jonson. And if you remember, friend, I talked about this person critique. Critique is in favor of Ben Jonson, and critique is representing what? Critique is representing Robert Howard. But Nender is representing Dryden, and he is in favor of Shakespeare instead of Ben Jonson. He is favoring Shakespeare because he has taste for English plays. That's why he is in favor of